Brendan always had a ball in his hand from the age of 2.
I mean, ever since I played t-ball when I was so young, I loved everything about it. I mean, the older I got, the more I played it, and it just continued on through there.
Brendan and Brock growing up, they both kind of had different interests initially. Then as they continued to get older, then that's when sports came into play more. Then they started having more common interests.
Well, you know, my mom hates that I say this, but I like the contact of football. It's just one of those things that I picked up on for the first time, and it's just something that I've always loved.
Brock was really committed to being the best at whatever he did. He took everything he did, whether it be sports or athletics or schoolwork. It was important to him, and he always strived to be the best that he could be. And Brendan is a kid who, if he's got a lot of confidence, he can be good. And it was the one sport that he played in where I think he always had a lot of confidence.
I mean, I love competing and going against every batter and trying to beat every batter. And I think my competitive drive fueled me to want to be a pitcher. You pretty much have control of the game, and I guess that's what I just loved about it. My freshman and sophomore year were okay, but I would say my junior year was definitely my best year. My slider got really good. I just worked on it with my pitching coach, and it I got pretty good, and I had 3 pitches I could throw for strikes, and I just did really well.
He was having a really, really good year that year in baseball, and I feel like he was really peaking in his career.
I was pitching, I threw a slider, and I felt my elbow pop, and I didn't know what it was, and I felt a real sharp pain go from tip of my finger up to top of my arm, and I'm well, that wasn't right.
I'm listening to the game. He says, well, Burns just threw his mitt down and he's headed to the dugout, and I knew that couldn't be good. I figured at that point that his career as a college pitcher was done.
Everybody had told us that the mental side of this is going to be the hard part.
The doctor said if you rehab it correctly and you take care of it, you'll come back throwing harder, and that's just kind of a thing they've always said about Tommy John. So I'm all right, well, I do have to take off a year, but it's also an opportunity and time for me to grow and get stronger, and I can come back this year throwing better than I ever have, throwing harder than I ever have.
He's always kind of had a personality that's, you know what, so what, it happens, you got to move on from it. He's always been a guy that doesn't show a ton of emotion, which I thought was crazy in an injury like that. You know, he didn't really show a ton of emotion. He's just you know what, it happened, but that's what happened to me. I got to move on from it, and I got to get better from it, and that's exactly what he did.
What I saw with Brendan in the rehab process was something that I wondered if he had, and that was the ability to overcome the mental obstacle and the physical obstacle at the same time, and he showed me a lot, and I was so proud of him.
That was really tough. You know, I just redshirted and I didn't want to miss another year. He told me, you know, coming back for the season wasn't likely. And I said, with all due respect, you know, doctor, I want to play. And he's well, that's going to be pretty tough. I'm I know it's going to be tough, but it's something that I want to do.
With them both being injured, they both felt the compassion for the other one of being sidelined and not being able to do what they love.
The biggest, I think, lesson he told me or advice he gave me was patience. He told me that there's going to be some days that you're in pain, and you just got to take it day by day and just know that you're going to get better if you stick to it. So he just told me that patience was key, and I think that's something that I took and ran with. I worked my butt off, kind of recovered, and I was able to get back in, I think, exactly 4 months. You know, I got officially cleared, and you know, that was pretty surreal, telling me that I could be able to strap it up and play. And I was able to play and make my debut against Central Michigan.
Just to see what it takes to get to where they are and the work they've put in, it's awesome.
For them to have each other's back and to be an ear and a companion for each other through it, Mom's heart just swells with pride that they're there for each other.